Subcommittee will come to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Senator Reeves, Senator DeSteph, Senator Perry, Senator Salim, Senator Williams-Graves, Senator Jordan, Senator Rouse.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
I don't know where that music is coming from. So just disregard that music. Our first order of business is for today. SB 317 and SB 416. The patron asked for those bills to go by for today. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? All votes in here would be a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Those bills will go by for the day. We will start with Senator Stanley is here. It's not here. You go ahead. Just get yours out of the way. Senator Reeves, SB 168.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. SB 168. Richmond, Virginia. Mr. Chairman, this is no stranger to this committee. It's been talked over many, many times. Actually, this bill is the exact same copy that had, for the most part, all the agreements. Last time we took this measure up, this bill is actually was Senator DeSteph's bill several years ago. And what it has to do with is the food beverage ratio, trying to bring parity to that process. And so what it does is it breaks down the definitions in line 129 through 138 about food beverage ratio, what the purposes of mixed beverages are for restaurants. And what it does, Mr. Chairman, is it goes in and says adjust the amount of food that you have to sell per month in order to have to deal with MBARs, which is the reporting process to which ABC issues licenses and under that. So what it does is a restaurant's gross proceeds from both food prepared or cooked on premises and non-alcoholic beverages must meet or exceed. Stanley in here?
Sorry about that.
Exceed 45% of their mixed beverage gross proceeds. The bill will change that requirement to 35% for restaurants that gross between $4,000 and $10,000 monthly, and eliminate the ratio required for restaurants that gross over $10,000 monthly. Because if you're doing $10,000, you're a restaurant. This bill will greatly benefit restaurants across the Commonwealth who are greatly limited by antiquated ABC regulations. And Mr. Chairman, I will say that we have been, over the years in this subcommittee, worked very, very diligently to try to consolidate licenses, clean it all up, and get past stuff that was passed years and years and years ago.
Thank you, Senator Reese. Are there anyone speaking in support of the bill? Is there any? Are you coming forward, sir? I don't know. We have a seat right here, and you will have 1 minute for your remarks.
This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.
Is it on? Somebody?
I don't know how to turn it on. It's not green.
There you go.
There we go. Robert Melvin. I am with the R Street Institute. We're a free market think tank based in Washington, D.C. We're very much supportive of Senate Bill 168. We believe that not only will it help restaurants, as Senator Reeves alluded to, we also think that will be beneficial for consumers that want to try and take advantage of some of these craft cocktail establishments that you see in some other states like New York, et cetera. And in addition to that, it will benefit consumers because currently there are situations like what happened in 2014 when the state had to fill a budget gap, and it led ABC to go and raise the price of liquor, and as a result, that goes and impacts the food to beverage ratio for the restaurant, and then the restaurants raise the food prices as well, and so consumers that might not even partake in alcoholic beverages end up having to pay for it. So for that reason and many others, we ask you to pass the bill.
Thank you, sir. Any other body here speaking in support? So anyone speak in opposition of the bill? Is there comments or questions from the committee? Yes.
I had a question.
I have a question. Then we have a motion. Question, Senator Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for Senator Reeves. For the $10,000 minimum I see in your bill, if someone perhaps was, say, a wedding venue that had a mixed beverage license, if they had a couple weddings in one week and they hit their minimum, would they be required to serve food for the rest of their events for the other 20-some days?
Mr. Chairman, I think venues such as that, I have a lifeline probably here with Mr. Daniels, but, or Mr. May can help me with that, answering that question. I think there's a separate banquet license for those when we were consolidating a couple of years ago. So I would have to phone a friend. Mr. May?
This is the
Yes.
Senate of Virginia.
Mr. Daniels, please.
Richmond, Virginia.
Mr. Chair, Senator Jordan, so that's actually covered by a different provision that actually was a bill that Senator DeSteph carried several years ago to account for situations like that. And we have a provision on the books because of the bill that says you've got to have food available at all times whenever mixed beverages are served. So they would still have to have food available.
Thank you. All right, there's a motion. Was there a second?
Second?
It's a motion, and there's a second. All in favor to report the bill, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The bill reports. All right, you have one more bill, Senator Reeves.
I do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Bring the subcommittee.
Just 1 second, Senator Reeves.
Yep.
Senator Deeds, you will be next. All right, you can continue, Senator Reeves.
Sorry, Cree. Mr. Chairman, I have Senate Bill 657, if the committee will bring attention to that.
Committee room. A
Mr. Chairman,
305.
This bill will change the current system of how performing arts facilities are licensed to serve alcohol. Currently, under the law, individual performing arts facilities need to seek permission from the Virginia General Assembly, us, to be included in this code section to serve alcohol. The bill will change the code to use an overarching definition of performing arts facilities, bringing down the number of different licenses that ABC has to allow, and allow newly constructed performing arts facilities to go straight to ABC for permitting purposes. The bill will simply simplify the current code, ensure consistency in ABC code, instead of having the General Assembly to come back continually to individually listing performing arts facilities as they're constructed. Mr. Chairman, this again is part of a cleanup bill we've been working on. There used to be a code section that in Southwest Virginia, because they were dry, they had, if they wanted to put any kind of alcohol,
The Senate of Virginia.
to come back every year and get a separate line item to that code section. So this will help some of those. I know there's some folks to speak about that, and I know in consultation with Mr. Daniels, it's still a work in progress because there's some other bills in the House side that I was informed of that are off a little bit on the numbers. So my position would be to get the bill moving as we get towards the end. I think you'll find a consolidation of the actual numbers.
Thank you, Senator Reeves. Is there anyone here to speak in support of the bill? Anyone speak in opposition? Do you have questions or comments from the committee? Is there a motion to report?
Move the report.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Bill reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, we're going to do them separately. Yeah, I know this one consolidates them, but since they're here, we're gonna hear the bill separately. All right, thank you. Senator Deeds.
Alcohol sales at three pavilions, three places. I'm showing you pictures of the three. Two are existing. The Jefferson Theater, which is a historic site in Charlottesville. They have a restaurant, but thanks, sir. I'm not sure how long the restaurant will survive. They've got a. I didn't say that out loud. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
They've got, the other one is the Ting Pavilion, which is beer and wine right now, and the other one is a planned amphitheater that's going to be built in Richmond.
Okay.
So,
You should have a seat, sir, so we can.
yeah, that's all the bill does.
All right, is there anyone to speak in opposition of the bill? Anyone speak in support of the bill? Please come forward and pull up a seat next to, okay.
Dave Alba representing Jefferson Theater and the Charlottesville Amphitheater and the Richmond Amphitheater. This all started many, many years ago. It actually was my bill to allow people at a amphitheater to be able to take their drinks from the concession stand and bring them to their seat. The old law, you'd have to have a restaurant and people would have to eat and drink in front of the concession stand. And so every year, unfortunately, we had to add different definitions. And so this adds the future Richmond Amphitheater, which is going to be right down the James. The existing Ting Amphitheater has beer and wine privileges. It allows them to have mixed beverage privileges. And the Jefferson Theater allows them to have mixed beverage privileges for the Jefferson Theater. So it's basically adding these three venues. We wanted to show you pictures to make sure that you knew it was a legitimate place.
Thank you, sir. Questions or comments by the committee? Is there a motion? Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, got it. And we have his proxy on record. Thank you. Senator DeStaff, you will be next.
Well, since we're on the same area of the code, we have one for the Dome site in Virginia Beach, which is right off the ocean front, operated by Live Nation. Facilities being constructed on the old historic Dome site, which was demolished in 1994. It has a seating capacity of 3,500 and outdoor conversion increasable to 5,000. If you take a look at the bill on page 7, line 176, it talks about persons operating the concessions at any performing amphitheater, arena, or similar facility has a total capacity in excess of 3,000. That's what we're doing here. And then back on line 707, persons operating food concession in any performing arts, amphitheater, arena, similar to facility has a capacity in excess of 3,000, located in the city of Virginia Beach. So those are the two changes to the current code. With that, I'm happy to answer questions or make a motion.
Thank you, Senator DeStaff. Just before your motion, anyone here to speak in support of the bill? We have two, and since it's not that complicated of a bill, you each will have 30 seconds to speak on the bill.
Brevity is appreciated.
Please come to the microphone so we can get you for the record. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Nicole Brenner with Reed Smith on behalf of Live Nation. We'll be the operator of the concert venue portion of the Virginia Beach Dome. Thank the senator for bringing the bill.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Likewise, I'm Brent McKenzie with the City of Virginia Beach, and likewise, we'd like to thank the senator for his support for this legislation. It'll go a long way to helping an important economic development project in the city. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for adhering to the time guidelines. Is there any comments or questions from the committee? There's a motion. There's a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Reeves is in favor as well by proxy.
Thank you, Senator DeStaff. And saw Senator Stanley is here. You are up, sir. We'll be hearing your bill, SB 26.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, SB 26 is a quirky little bill that does one little thing, and it's something, being now an owner of a recreational vehicle, that I took for granted, that we all took for granted in America, because, you know, freedom. And what we're finding is that when you go to an RV park and they have a camp store, and that camp store sells beer and wine and off-premises. Off-premises means off-premises, which means you can't crack the beer open in the camp store. And technically what the RV parks are finding from the ABC control officers is that you can't walk back to your RV drinking the beer. And really, there's a question of whether you can sit outside in your lounge chair and drink that beer. That would only leave you to the inside of your RV to drink that beer that you bought at the camp store. So what this came to me from an owner of an RV park in Carroll County is that this basically does not prevent any person from drinking an alcoholic beverage purchased from the ABC off there on premises, to include the RV park, which is usually private property.
Correct. Just a question,
Sure.
Senator Stanley. So the you can have alcohol and someone can sit in front of their RV and have a nice one.
So that's the question.
That's the question.
Because that's still the premises with no privacy. That's premises of the company that owns the RV park, which owns the camp store.
And your bill attempts to clean that up.
Cleans that up. So you can walk back, crack one open, take a couple sips, sit outside in your chair at the RV park, because we all agree that you have a right of privacy. It's your own premises, which is the RV itself.
Gotcha.
The camper. This allows you to, it's not something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It just allows you to drink an alcoholic beverage on the premises of the RV park itself.
Thank you, Senator Sam. Is there anyone here to speak in support of the bill?
A lot of campers out there.
Anyone speak in opposition of the bill? Any questions or comments from the committee?
Mr. Chair.
Senator DeStef and Senator Jordan.
Mr. Chair, I had a quick question of the patron.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Patron yield.
That's what I'm here for.
You have the floor, Senator DeStef.
After today, I don't want to yield for anything on the floor with all those new
Senator
bills.
Stanley, I just want to make sure that we're referring to somebody who otherwise qualifies within the law to be able to consume alcohol, so to ensure that they're going to be 21 years or older while they're on the campsite consuming alcohol.
Mr. Chairman, I'd answer the gentleman that if the law sections themselves, 4.1308, regulates drinking alcoholic beverages in public places. And what we're trying to make sure is there's a question whether this is a public place or private place, whether it is appertinent to the ABC off license. You can't go into a convenience store, Mr. Chairman, I'd answer the gentleman by saying, can't go buy a six-pack and drink a beer there. It's off premises. The off premises starts in your zone of privacy. Here, what we have is some confusion as to when there is an RV park, it's kind of a mix of privacy and then common area. And that changes when people rent those places on short-term rentals or long-term rentals. So the question is, Billy Bob DeStef goes in, gets himself a six-pack of Natty Light, wants to drink it. As he's walking back to his camper, which is 150 yards away, he cracks one open. Is he violating our ABC laws in public places? The ABC drinking alcoholic beverage in public places presumes that the person consuming alcohol is over the age of 21. Because if they're under, then that presents another violation of our code, separate from this.
Thank you, Senator Stanley. Senator DeStef, would you like a follow-up?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Senator Stanley answered all of my questions in excruciating detail, and we're very happy for that.
Thank you. Senator Jordan.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for Senator Stanley. So, and I think I probably want to ask legal counsel here. I don't mean any harm to your bill, but campground is kind of a very broad term according to the Virginia Code. So if one deems itself a campground in its private property, and if I wanted to throw a, say, outdoor concert and we had a gaggle of RVs present, I would be able to drink on private property, correct? Because a campground, it seems like, is very loosely defined.
Good, please.
Mr. Chair, Senator Jordan. So, yeah, I mean, you are correct. We do not define it here. We have other areas of the code that contemplate definitions of campgrounds. But the important language here is the very end of subsection F, where we talk about the use of tent trailers, pickup campers, motorhomes, and similar recreational vehicles. Because what we didn't want to do is to hit regular campgrounds. We didn't want it to hit the family campgrounds necessarily. I mean, families do camp at RV parks too, but we're specifically targeting the RV parks. So you would have to meet the last part of the subsection F in order to qualify.
Follow-up question, Mr. Chair.
The floor is yours, Senator Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I guess I'll direct it to council. So as a follow-up question, as I'm looking at in the administrative code where campgrounds are defined, the reason I'm asking this is so say that Senator Stanley wanted to have a campground on private property and have a concert venue, and he sold alcohol at such event. How would one restrict, and this is probably to the benefit of him if he threw the concert, alcohol consumption, if he so chose?
I can even answer
So, if I get this wrong, you guys head up here. I think that would probably be even, in my opinion, less of an issue because you'd be having an event that would have a separate ABC license. So, assuming that event was approved by ABC, which it would be illegal in the first place if it wasn't, they would come out and mark off a designated area where people can be drinking, like they do for any other venues where they have these outdoor concerts. So, ABC at the end of the day would be in charge of designating where that could occur.
Would that have a motion?
Are you finished your line of question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Do we have anyone speaking in support? I think I've asked that already. Anyone speaking in opposition? Just want to be clear. Okay, is there a motion to report?
Move to report.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye by proxy.
Aye by proxy. And aye by proxy. And your bill reports.
Stuff changes the world.
Yeah. That concludes the subcommittee meeting.
The Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.